Alright, so YouTube, welcome back to the Mototopia channel. This is part 2 of our day 5 trip with Edelweiss on an Alps tour. Always remember to please like and subscribe the video. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. We start the afternoon at the beautiful Passo San Marco with some incredible views, and then we head south from the pass on fantastic roads toward Bergamo, Italy. After the town of Olma al Brembo, we head east over the Brembo River. We continue through the province of Bergamo and over the Passo della Presolana. From there we enter the iron mining valley of the Scalve Valley, and then the highlight of the trip, the infamous Goat Path and Passo del Vivione. We ride through several of northern Italy's best ski resort towns, including Passo del Tonale, and then we just continue on through some amazing roads to our hotel in Mazzana Maraliva. What an unbelievably fantastic day we had. Alright, so now we're back at Passo San Marco. These are some photos we took up at the pass. That's my good friend Barry. And there's Jim, he's taking some photos as well. There I am taking a photo of, I don't know, either Barry or Kevin, maybe, from the jacket. That's Paul and Lucas and Jim. And here we are getting ready to head out. This next little bit of footage is from Barry's GoPro. Barry is riding a Ducati Multistrada. I think it's the 1260 newer version. So we'll take a look at the roads heading south out of Passo San Marco. Once Barry gets some clear road in front of him, he winds it up a little bit, builds up some speed, and unfortunately the microphone has a lot of wind noise, so got to turn the volume down a little bit, but he's getting a pretty good scoot on, enjoying these roads. They're a lot of fun, and the Ducati's a great bike to handle them. Alright, so one thing I noticed riding through this area is that there are a lot of towns and even a river with the name Brembo comprising all or part of the name. I think most motorcycle riders and automobile enthusiasts know the company Brembo. It's an Italian manufacturer of brakes and brake calipers. And they were founded in this local area, not far from Bergamo, in a town called Stezzano. It was founded in 1961 by two guys, Italo Breda and Emilio Bombassi. And they took the two letters beginning each of their last names, I guess 3 from Breda and 2 from Bombassi, and came up with Brembo. So I don't know if it's just coincidence that everything is named Brembo in this area, but we're about to turn left and go over the Brembo River. So anyway, just a little trivia if you're interested in Brembo. I'm fascinated by the company because they've become so successful in such a short time. They're a $2 billion company with factories in North America, Poland, India, China, Mexico, and several in this area of Italy. The first Brembo brakes on a racing vehicle were on Niki Lauda's car the year that he first won the F1 championship, which I think was 1975. Since then, they have won 60 main world titles, from Indy cars, F1 cars, MotoGP, and even several NASCAR teams. And for all you Harley guys, there are Brembo brakes on 70% of all Harley-Davidson motorcycles. So, pretty cool company, and they were founded right here in this area of northern Italy. Also in this area is a small medieval village on the mountain behind us overlooking the Brembo River. They call it the village where time stood still. It hasn't changed in hundreds of years. In fact, they use it to film movies and things like that. But what it's better known for is the first postal stamp. The village of Cornello del Tasso was run and managed by the Tasso family, and they developed the first mail delivery system, including printing the first postage stamp in that village. They also delivered taxes across Europe, and it was from the delivery of taxes with the mail that the word taxi originated. So all this fascinating trivia. You guys are going to thank me the next time you play Trivial Pursuit. So when we finally stopped for lunch, it seemed to me that this was a very impromptu, unplanned stop. We were the only customers in the place, and what we got, for convenience sake, was basically traditional cold cuts, and just kind of picked and ate what we could, and then took off again, back on the road. As we ride through this small town perched on the side of a steep mountain, I remember admiring the stonework. All over northern Italy there's tremendous stonework, even just retaining walls, but they're built with amazing precision, and they look great, and they stand the test of time, which is not always easy to do. So here we are entering the village of Scalera, Italy. Located about 24 miles east of here is Italy's first World Heritage Site. It's called Val Camonica, and it's one of the world's greatest collections of prehistoric petroglyphs. More than 140,000 symbols and figures carved in the rock over a period of 8,000 years, and depicting themes connected with agriculture, navigation, war, and magic. Pretty cool. So we're now passing through the Presolana ski resort. There's a small hotel here with an interesting name. It seems they are big fans of processed meat, and perhaps maybe they're having some kind of spam convention for young people. I'm not sure what's going on here, but there are a lot of young Italian kids, and they seem to like motorcycles. Woohoo! Way to go, kids! So this area that we're in is, obviously it's a ski town in the winter, and in the summer tourism is big here too. They do a lot of hiking and summer activities, but it's most famous for rock climbing. It's called the Valle dei Mulini, or Valley of the Mills, and apparently 35,000 years ago, there was a volcanic eruption that created this valley with a crevasse that's got very steep rock walls. There are 4 separate cliffs that bring people from all over the world to rock climb. Additionally, in this valley, since the 10th century, there has been a flour mill, which is why it's called Valley of the Mills. But back in the 1940s, the mills closed, and the growth, the forest growth just took over. So it's considered one of the most scenic abandoned places on the planet. Our tour guide Lucas is about to have a close call. If you listen closely, you'll hear Lucas's bike scrape the ground every time he makes a left turn. It's just the way he does tight turns. He leans the bike over but sits upright. It's kind of like forcing the side of the bike into the pavement. It's just his cornering technique. It works well, except that you're on a very expensive motorcycle you don't own. sitting on it, and I'm really moving out. I look in my rearview mirror, and there you are. Just tooling along, like not a care in the world.
I do every once in a while.
Shorts and flip-flops, just sunglasses, feet up in the air, hands behind your head. I love it. All right, so we're getting close to the goat path and the Passo del Vivione. We are now entering the Scalve Valley. Scalve is a Celtic term that means scaff or crack, as in a narrow, deep valley. This area has been used for centuries to mine iron ore. If you've ever wondered where the ancient Romans got the metal to make their swords and weapons from, this is it. They used to march prisoners up here in chains to work in these mines, and they were functional mines until 1970. We're passing a mine now on the left that's now just a mining museum. I think they specialize in mine lighting in this museum. But anyway, that is not for this trip. This trip, we are here to ride, and this is about to be the best riding of the trip. Now, Stelvio's coming up too, and that's pretty good, but this might edge it out a little bit. I'm going to shut up and just check this out. Just watch this footage. It is amazingly beautiful and tight and narrow, and it was just the most fun I think I've ever had on a motorcycle. It's tremendous. Check it out. I'm watching this and I can't shut up. I mean, just look at these mountains to the right and the way these narrow little roads are twisting and turning, and we're just flying along. I think maybe you could liken this experience to being on a roller coaster with just the perfect amount of twists and turns and ups and downs, only instead of just hanging on for the ride, you now have control of the speed and the direction of the roller coaster. and the tracks are sort of a suggestion of where you should go, and then add the experience of, or the excitement of another roller coaster could potentially come at you head on at any moment. That might give you some idea of how much I appreciated having a tour guide to go in front of me. Lucas was kind of running blocker, like the Bandit, Smoking the Bandit, if anybody's familiar with that cinematic classic. But yeah, I mean, I can watch him react to anything coming down the road toward us, which gives me a significant amount of confidence that I'm going to be okay. That is a safety that is definitely worth paying for in terms of, do you want a tour guide or don't you? And it's one of the reasons we give both of our tour guides a really great tip. They deserved it. They made the trip so much more enjoyable and quite a bit safer too. Just look at the ledge we're riding against, and that valley and those mountains. It's just phenomenal, just breathtaking. Okay, so before I describe the goings-on that occurred at Passo del Vivione, I'm going to play this short video from Barry, because his description is, well, it's spot on, and his pronunciation of the name of the pass is so perfect.
I gotta look this one up on the map. This is easily the narrowest, tightest of the passes we've been on. It's crazy stupid. Passo del Vivione.
Well, it was getting a little late in the evening, but we did make it up to Passo del Vivione. This pass was a bit unusual, quirky even. It was closed on the east side with concrete barricades, but it was obvious vehicles were going around them. Across the parking lot from the hotel restaurant, there were odd wood carvings and a wooden lifeguard chair. Off in the distance were foam animals used as archery targets. Inside the restaurant, there are several examples of taxidermy, a collection of cowbells, and an encyclopedic poster on local mushrooms. As I explored with my camera, the guys waited patiently for two of our group to arrive. After about 10 to 15 minutes or so, we began to get a little anxious when another rider came up and said there were two bikes waiting for assistance a few miles down the mountain. Our tour guide Lucas took off to help. With the belief that our guys were okay and waiting on the side of the road, he was leisurely smoking a cig while cruising down. Unfortunately, Ken had decided to ride up, and he and Lucas met head-on. Lucas's $25,000 Ducati was significantly damaged, but rideable, without a clutch lever. Ken suffered an ankle injury and damage to his forks. The final rider, Gene, damaged his center stand, but managed to MacGyver it up into position with a USB cable. Naturally, Gene's in IT. After all this excitement and half-assed repairs, we continued east by going around the concrete barrier. Turns out the eastern side of Vivione was a sweet ride too.
Yeah, same one. It was a really sharp one. Oh, they on purpose, so it breaks off. I cannot believe that I had an accident.
Going downhill, where we have the sharp turns and so on. Remember,
Thanks God we were both very slow. Yeah.
Some of the corners have a little bit.
He had maybe 10 kilometers an hour, I had maybe 15 kilometers.
And then we're going to hit an area that's a dirt patch.
Yeah, but that's about
maybe
50 miles
but it's
an hour.
just dirt on
Yeah,
the
but when we met,
fine.
we had like
down
2
the hill, you'll
kilometers
see
an
there's a
hour.
right-hand turn and there's a lot of water in it.
It couldn't have been that
Stay right.
It could have been
all asphalt underneath the
much?
water.
Okay, and you try to keep it straight as much so I don't slow down.
I'm gonna ride it.
Yeah, that's it. On that note,
It's a right-hand turn, and I'm not talking about wet. I'm talking about standing water. Definitely stay.
Let's go, boys.
3 feet off of
Saddle
the right
up.
side of that, and it's just water over asphalt. The further you get left, there's mud. You know, so.
I went to, I only got one bar.
So now that we've successfully made it down the east side of Passo del Vivione, we're going to just stop here at the other barricade and let everybody catch up. Lucas is catching a drink from a mountain spring that just poked out of that wall.
How do you feel?
Still alive?
Never give up.
That's right, never give up. Yeah, just go slow enough to always stay on the right way. That's the...
It was a bike path.
It was.
It was a bike path of death. It was. There was a stone wall on the side.
All right, so we have successfully survived the goat path, or as Gene calls it, the bike path of death. And we're now in the Ponta di Legno ski resort town. It's a beautiful ski resort and also happens to be the largest in Lombardy, Italy, in this state. So beautiful ski resort, and all the way up to the next pass, to Passo Tonali, we're going to be passing all these little villages that are ski towns. We'll be crossing under a number of cable cars and chairlifts and whatnot. But just a beautiful area. I mean, the mountains are incredible, and I can only imagine what this would look like in the wintertime, full of skiers. I think that might have to be our next trip to Europe. All right, everybody. Well, this brings to a close day 5 of the Edelweiss Alps Tour. What a fantastic adventure today was. The riding was just incredible. Stay tuned for the next episode. And please remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and also ding the notification bell. That's very important. I know I say it a lot, but please do it for me. Thanks, and remember, be in love with your life, every minute of it.